Hare Ram, Ram Ram. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3. So Krishna is explaining how one should act, and after that Arjuna asked one question to him. I'm not good at manage. Somebody use this computer. I cannot see this page. Anybody can help me? How to do this? Page is not coming. Is here right side? Zoom out. Zoom in also. Zoom to actual size. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, don't know. Fit page, maybe. Fit page. Fit in the page.
Shift.
Fit, FIT, fit page. There is option fit page.
Where?
In Zoom option, Maharaj.
In the Zoom.
Yeah.
In the Zoom, go to Zoom, page display, road, full screen rules and grid navigation. और तो कुछ नहीं.
In Zoom, go to Zoom. Yes, there is option fit page.
Fit page. Fit page 2, 3, 4. कौन सा? फिट पेज में तो फिट पेज में 2. फिट पेज में 2 तो कुछ नहीं आ रहा है. तो पता नहीं किसी क्या करना है. तो किसको पता? क्या करना चाहिए?
हरे कृष्णा महाराज जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हाँ,
महाराज जी एक बार हटा सकते हो इसको, फिर पूरा फिर से खोल सकते हैं तो वो हो जाएगा सही।
महाराज हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम। हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि आप कोई और मतलब ओपन विथ करके किसी और ऐप से खोल दीजिए उसको। ओपन विथ करके कोई और पीडीएफ व्यूअर होगा लैपटॉप में, उससे खोल सकते हैं।
तो ओपन किया.
वहां पे जब पीडीएफ खोलते हैं तो ओपन विथ का ऑप्शन होगा, ओपन विथ का ऑप्शन होगा, तो उस ओपन विथ से शायद कोई और पीडीएफ व्यूअर से खोल सकते हैं उसको।
ये तो कुछ तो नहीं आता है।
Maharaj, I can share my screen if you can tell me the page.
आप एक काम करो, आपका स्क्रीन शेयर करो।
Maharaj, please tell me the page number, approximate.
और 37 verse, 3rd chapter। तो ठीक है, हाँ, आई कैन ओपन फॉर वेदावेस। ठीक है, हाँ, तुम स्क्रीन शेयर स्टॉप करो। वेदावेस होना चाहिए। वेदावेस हो रहा है, ठीक है। Sorry, out of 30 minutes, 6 minutes. Text 37, Sri Bhagavan, 3rd chapter. Kamesha Krodesha Radhaguna Shantho Mahashana Mahapapma Vidyanam Yavairina. Sri Bhagavan Vach, the personality of God said, Kamo Esho, last, lay, Esho this. Esho means this. The Kamo Esho, this Kam. Krodho Esho means this wrath. Esho. Kamesho Krodho Esho means this last, this wrath. Rajoguna Samudbhava, Rajogun, mode of passion. Samudbhava, born of. The Rajoguna Samudbhava means born of mode of passion. And not only that, it's Mahashana. Ashana. Ashana means eating. We have heard this. Bunjitito Papa. Mahashana. Ashana means like Ashnanti te deva divi bhoga bhaga. Bhagavad Gita, other place also this verse, this word is. So Ashana means eating. The Mahashana means all devouring. He can eat everything, all devouring. Not only that, Mahapapma, greatly simple. This calm and growth. Now, if you want to fight with some enemy, you should know his identity first. Origin people fighting, those whom I should fight. You want to know them. Here also, we have to fight with calm and growth. Before fight, we should know their identity. Her identity, their father, mother is Rajugun. And their Mahashana Mahapapa. This calm, all devourer can eat anything. What is means? Due to lust and anger, we can lose everything. That means he's eating. And not only that, okay, if everything eating is okay, I'm free. But not only that, Mahapapma, greatly sinful. That is why this greatest enemy of the soul. With the know, this lust and anger, you are in the material body now, greatest enemy. So this is the greatest enemy. Question was, Arjuna's question was, I don't want to do Athokana projectam papam charati purush. Why people do commit sinful activities? Anichanapi looks like I don't want to do. Still, I have to do like Balada, somebody is forcing me to do this sinful activities. Krishna said yes. This Kam and Krodh is born mode of passion. And they're all devouring and greatly sinful. And they are the greatest enemy of all living entities in this world. The Supreme Person of Godhead said, it is last only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion, and later transform into wrath, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. Part 8. When a living entity comes in contact with the material creation, his eternal love for Krishna is transformed into lust. In association, the mode of passion, or in other words, the sense of love of God becomes transformed into lust. As milk in contact with sour tamarind is transformed into yogurt, then again, when lust is unsatisfied, it turns into wrath. Wrath is transformed into illusion, and illusion continues the material existence. We have heard this in previous chapter 63 and 60, 62 and 60, 62nd and 63rd verse. There is gradual, stage of gradual fall down. Here, Prabhupada is quoting from there. When that last unsatisfied turns into wrath, wrath is illusion, and illusion continues material existence. Therefore, lust is the greatest enemy of the living entity. Vidhi enam iha boirina mahapapma. And it is lust only which induces the pure living entity to remain entangled in the material world. Wrath is the manifestation of the mode of ignorance. These modes exhibit themselves as wrath and other corollaries. If, therefore, the mode of passion, instead of being degraded into the mode of ignorance, is elevated to the mode of goodness by the prescribed method of living and acting, then one can be saved from the degradation of wrath by spiritual attachment. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands himself into many for his ever-increasing spiritual bliss. And the living entities are parts and parcel of this spiritual bliss. Nature of Lord is Anandamaya Utthashat. Always want to get pleasant. They also have partial independence, but by misuse of this independence, when the service attitude is transformed into the propensity for sense enjoyment, they come under the sway of lust. In this scripture, there is nice explanation. What is the love and lust? Brahma said the most misused term is love. In this world, people have no conception of love, but still people say love. Actually, that is lust. And not only that, the lust is complete opposite of love. And they're using lust as love. How much misused word. This material creation is created by the Lord to give facility to the conditioned souls to fulfill these lustful propensities. And when completely baffled by prolonged lustful activities, the living entities begin to inquire about their real position. This inquiry is the beginning of Vedanta Ch-3, wherein it is said, Athata Brahma Jigyasa. One should inquire into the Supreme. Atha Brahma Jigyasa. Atha Brahma Jigyasa. How this comes? Athata Brahma Jigyasa. One should inquire into the Supreme. And the Supreme is defined in Srimad Bhagavatam as Janmadi Ashajata Annadita Ratascha. First verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Or the origin of everything is the Supreme Brahma. Therefore, the origin of last is also the Supreme. The origin of last is also the Supreme. There is sometimes it is called as Adi Ras. There is some Ras actually. Adi Ras. If therefore last is transformed into love for the Supreme, or transformed into Krishna consciousness, or in other words, desiring everything for Krishna, then both last and river can be spiritualized. Human, the great servitor of Lord Ram, Hanuman, the great servitor of Lord Ram, exhibited his wrath by burning the golden city of Ram. You can use everything in Krishna's plan. Kam, Krishna karma. We have the last. At last we can use Krishna's service. Krodh, bhakta deshi jane. Like Arjun, Hanuman, used his krodh for the service of the Lord. But by doing so, he became the greatest devotee of the Lord. Here also in Bhagavad Gita, the law induces Arjuna to engage his wrath upon his enemies for the satisfaction of the law. Therefore, lust and wrath, kam and krodh, when they are employed in Krishna consciousness, become our friends instead of our enemies. How they work? Work by covering. Maya has two types of prakshapatmika, avaranatmika. Prakshap means throw, and avaran means cover. So, lust and anger cover our consciousness. How? Dhumena briyate vanni jatha darsham balena cha jatha ullena abrita garva tatha tena idam abritam. Dhumena abriyate vanni. Dhumena, by smoke. Abriyate is covered. Vanni, fire. So fire is covered with smoke. Jatha, just as Adarsha, mirror. Adarsha, malena, by dust. Adarsha, the mirror by dust. Cha also, Jatha, just as Ullena abrita garva. Ullena, Ullena means is covered by garva, embryo. Covered by garva. embryo. Ullina by the womb, covered. Ullina abrita garbha. Ullina. Ullo means womb. Mother's womb. By that, Ullina, by that, garbho, embryo. 3 examples. Fire, mirror, and garbha, embryo. The same way, tatha, the same way, teno, by that last, teno means by that, teno tar dara, unko dara, teno. Whose discussion, kama ishakudish, kam. But at Krodh, actually Krodh, after comes Kam. After the Kam, then Krodh comes. There's no need of saying Krodh. Because starting from Kam. So, by that means by that last. Idam abritam, idam, this, the consciousness of the soul is covered. As fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, or as the embryo is covered by the womb, the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of lust. Part-8. There are 3 degrees of covering of the living entity, by which his pure consciousness is obscured. This covering is but just under different manifestations like smoke on the fire, dust on the mirror, the womb above, embryo. When lust is compared to smoke, it is understood that the fire of the living spark can be little perceived. Little perceived. If we see the fire, must be, say, if we see some smoke, must be there is fire. Little perceived. In other words, when the living entity exhibits his Krishna consciousness slightly, he may be likened to the fire covered by smoke. Although fire is necessary, fire there is smoke. There is no overt manifestation of fire in the early stage. Here, we will say, the living entity exhibits Krishna consciousness slightly, like in the fire covered by the smoke. Living entity exhibits his Krishna consciousness slightly, he may be likened to the fire covered by smoke. This covering is not so much, you cannot see fire. But by seeing smoke, you can see some fire. By seeing dust, you cannot guarantee that this is mirror. By seeing the womb, you cannot give guarantee embryo is there. Maybe some disease condition, tumor and accumulation of water, so many things. But if there is smoke, must be there is fire. So living it is consciousness like that. All the fire is necessary while there is smoke. There is no overt manifestation of fire in early stage. This stage is like beginning of Krishna consciousness. This stage is beginning of Krishna consciousness. The dust of the mirror refers to a cleansing process of the mirror of the mind by so many spiritual methods. The best process is to chant the holy name of the Lord. The embryo is covered by the womb is an analogy illustrating a helpless position. For the child in the womb is so helpless that he cannot even move. This stage of living condition can be compared to that of the trees. So first one, he cannot move Tree cannot move, but there is life. The trees are also living entities, but they have been put in such a condition of life, with such a great exhibition of lust, that they are almost void of all consciousness. The covered mirror is compared to the birds and beasts, and the smoke conveyed the fire is compared to the human being. You got three analogy, huh? Gradual. Most covered is tree. Then covered mirror is compared to birds and beasts. Same birds and beasts. And human being is small. You can say another way, that is covered consciousness, tree, shrinks consciousness, birds and beasts, and human being, budding consciousness, bud. And when one becomes Krishna conscious, the blooming consciousness. And when pure devotee is full blooming consciousness. 5 stages: covered, shrinkage, budding, blooming, full blooming. Abrito, Shankuchita, Mukulito, Bikoshito, Purna Bikoshito. In the form of a human being, the living entity may revive a little Krishna consciousness, and if he makes further development, the fire of spiritual life can be kindled in the human form of life by careful handling of the smoke in the fire. Fire can be made to blaze. Therefore, the human form of life is a chance for the living entity to escape the entanglement of material existence. In the human form of life, one can conquer the enemy. Last, by cultivation of Krishna consciousness under the able guidance of the spiritual master. So those who are covering, they must be their greatest enemy. That is why Nitya Boirina, this is Boir. If some great opulence you have, somebody is trying to cover it. That means he is your greatest enemy. Abritam Gyanamitano Genino Nitya Boirina. Kamorupino Konto Dushpureno Anuleno. Abritam cover. Jnanam, pure consciousness, Itana by this. Genino of the knower, Nitya Vairina by the eternal enemy. Kamo Rupeno in the form of lust. Kunti, O son of Kunti. Dushpureno, never to be satisfied. Onuleno by the fire, Cha also. Thus, the wise living entity is pure consciousness, becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. I'm reading it. Thus, the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. Devour. Fire will never satisfy. It will provide fuel in it. It is said in the Manusmriti that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment, just as fire is never extinguished by constant supply of fuel. In the material world, the center of all activities is sex. And thus, this material world is called Moithun Aga, or the shackles of sex life. In the ordinary prison house, criminals are kept within bars. Similarly, the criminals who are disobedient to the laws of the law are shackled by sex life. Advancement of material civilization on the basis of sense gratification means increasing the duration of material existence of a living entity. Therefore, this last is the symbol of ignorance by which the living entity is kept within the material world. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually, that so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense chamber. I'm reading again the last one. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually that so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of sense enjoyment. We can read another version. Indriyani monobuddhi pashyadishtanam uchyate etirvimohitisha jnana uplift dehina. Indriyani, the senses, mano, the mind, buddhi, the intellect, pasya, of this last. Adhishtanam, sitting place, uchyate, is called. Etoi, by all this, vimohoyati, builders. Yesha, this last. Gyanam, knowledge. Abritta, covering the hinam of the embodied. These senses, the mind and the intelligence are the sitting places of this last. Through them, last covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. The enemy has captured different strategic positions in the body of the conditioned soul. And therefore, Lord Krishna is giving hints of those places so that one who wants to conquer the enemy may know where he can be found. Mind is the center of all activities of the senses. And thus, when we hear about sense objects, the mind generally becomes a reservoir of all ideas of sense gratification. And as a result, the mind and the senses become the repositories of lust. Next, the intelligence department becomes the capital of such lustful propensities. Intelligence is the immediate next door, never awe the spirit soul. Lust intelligence influences the spirit soul to acquire false ego and identify itself with matter. Thus, with the mind and senses, the spirit soul becomes addicted to everything. The spirit soul becomes addicted to enjoy the material senses and mistakes this as pure happiness. This false identification of the spirit soul is very nicely explained in Srimad Bhagavad. Jasya atmabuddhi kunape tirdhati shadhi kalatradishu bhaumichyati jat titta buddhi sholilena korechit janisya vikashit shayeva gokhara. Translation: a human being who identifies this body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsman, who considers the land of birth worshipable, and who goes to the place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet man of transcendental knowledge there, a devotee, is to be considered like an ass or cow. Go means As khar means cow. Gokhar. Gokhar means whose intelligence like cow and asses. Okay. Krishna has raised his hand. Okay.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Maharaj ji.
Maharaji.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Maharaj ji, for this wonderful class. Maharaj ji, my question is from previous class, where in the purport of 13 verse, Srila Prabhupada write that reluctance should be thrown off in this way, one may become begajjora, or without average mentality or lethargy. So my question is that, Maharaj ji, how can I thrown off that reluctance in order to perform my prescribed duties? Currently, it's study, because most of the time I feel very lethargic when I do study.
Yeah. This is one of the greatest lethargy. Alas, apathy. This is it's very difficult to allow. For that needs association. Let whatever we are performing in association with the devotees, whatever we are performing, is very difficult for us to observe all these rules and regulations alone. As we are in association of devotees, that is why we are rising early, chanting, reading Bhagavatam. But if we try to practice alone, when we are practicing, it looks like, oh, we have become great devotee and practicing so nicely. But if we are thrown in such a situation where there is no devotee, then we can find how difficult it is. Rising early in the morning, we have 24 hours, but still very difficult to finish 16 rounds. What about cooking for burning Bhogan Prasad? That is why we should always make a nice association. We should associate with enthusiastic devotees. We are seeing in the whole world, Krishna consciousness is progressing. How Srila Prabhupada has given the association. By Prabhupada's association, they are able to practice. Another example, Prabhupada gave everything, but when Prabhupada left, there is no one in this world like Prabhupada. So many devotees are there, but not like Prabhupada. That is why we are not feeling that type of enthusiasm. But still, whatever we are practicing, due to association with other enthusiastic devotees. So always we should find some enthusiastic devotee and to associate with him. Especially in which respect we are lazy. Like if I am lazy in rising early in the morning, if I felt difficulty in finishing 16 hours properly in the morning, if I am not so enthusiastic in reading Prabhupada book regularly, so we should associate with those type of devotees.
Maharaj ji, one more question. May I ask? Maharaj ji, here in the purport of 37 verse, Prabhupada ji writes that therefore lust and breath, when they are employed in Krishna consciousness, become our friends instead of our enemies. So Maharaj ji, how can we know that lust and breath used in Krishna consciousness?
Narottam Das Thakur expressed one of his book. Kam Krishna Karmarpane Kurat Bhakti Deshijane Lobh Sadhusanga Haripata. Kam Krishna Karmarpane. Kam, great desire to do something. Do for Krishna. Want to make big house. Okay, make big temple for Krishna. want to earn money. Okay, earn money and help out the temples financially. So that nobody should feel any shortage of money for preaching Krishna consciousness. And Krodh Bhakta decision. Apply Krodh, Prabhupada has given two examples, Arjun and Hanuman, they applied anger. And Lobh Sadhu Sangha Harikatha. And greedy, always if greedy by hearing Krishna Katha in association with devotees. Like we are hearing every day. But still, this time we forget. Oh, 5:30, I forgot the 5:30 my class. That is, there is no greediness. Sadhu Sangha. And Moho Ishto Labhini. Moho, illusion. Why I am not getting love of Godhead? Why I am unable to see Krishna? It should become illusion. Bewildered. And Mad Krishna Gunagan. Mad. Moho Mad. Mad means mad, become mad. Krishna Gunagan. And chanting Krishna's name. When Krishna's name is saying, one should dance like a mad. So as we have these propensities, with enemy, all this enemy we can use in Krishna service.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Ye Pankaj Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaji Dandavat Pranam. So Maharaji, there was one point that we all got a little independence, and if we misuse that independence, our service attitude is turned into the sense gratification. So question is that how I can know that how much independence I have got, and in how productive way I can utilize that independence so that my service attitude is not lost.
This independence very, very minute. Like a spark of fire in comparison with whole sun planet. A drop of water in comparison with one Pacific Ocean. Very, very minute. But if you can use this, that as very minute, that water can be covered by other material thing because their size is very big. Our eye is covered by cloud. But when we use this independence in Krishna's service, Krishna will use that and multiply it. Our independence is very small. Like how many successful person they make so many houses. But when they're using Krishna's service, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he made 64 big temples. Srila Prabhupada, when he uses independence completely, Krishna's service, in his lifetime, he made 108 temples and so many. So that independence when he uses in Krishna's service, and the Krishna's power is unlimited. So it's connected with unlimited. Like, just see, you want to serve the government of the state. How many ways you can do? But our government of the state, they're taking care of all departments. But if you surrender to the authority of the government, if you surrender to your energy multiplied, whole country, your energy will distribute the whole country. So how big we are, not necessarily something. How insignificant we are. We connect with Krishna. Like you one drop of water, how much thirsty can satisfy. But when it's connect with ocean can satisfy everyone. So we should not think of how much big our independence. No need about thinking that. Whatever we have, we should use completely in Krishna's service.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Okay, last question is Mon Vishwas.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Charat Pranam. Maharaj, can I speak in Bangla? মহারাজ, আমার প্রশ্নটা হচ্ছে মহারাজ, যে আপনি বলেন যে আমাদের আসলে কৃষ্ণ কথার প্রতিও লোভ হওয়া উচিত, কিন্তু দেখা গেছে যে কৃষ্ণ কথা শুনলে হচ্ছে আমাদের অনেক দোষ দেখা যায়, আর আমরা সাধারণত আমাদের দোষ শুনতে পছন্দ করি না। তো সেখানে আমাদের লোভ কিভাবে জাগ্রত হইতে পারে?
Krishna Katha, we feel fault finding. It is not like that. When I hear from Krishna Katha from Prabhupada, how fault finding nature will develop? I cannot understand. If you,
মিন্স মহারাজ,
if you
মানে
read,
মহারাজ আমি
বলো।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ মহারাজ, আমি বলতে চাচ্ছিলাম যে মানে আমরা হচ্ছে অনেক ভক্তদের দেখতে পাই যারা অনেক হচ্ছে উচ্চ স্তরে, এবং আমরা মনে হচ্ছে মানে নিজেদের মনে হয় যে আসলে আমাদের আসলে এরকম গুণ বা এরকম কোনো কিছু নাই, এবং আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে আমরা আসলে সত্যি এরকম মানে অনেক খারাপ কাজ করতেছি এবং ভগবানের সেবার সাথে যুক্ত নেই, এবং অনেক দোষ হচ্ছে দেখা যায় যে আমরা এরকম এরকম খারাপ কাজগুলো করতে পারতেছি এবং ভগবানের সেবাও যুক্ত থাকতে পারতেছি না। তো তখন হচ্ছে দেখা গেছে নিজেদের আসলে তখন আরো খারাপ লাগে। তো ওইটা থেকে বলতেছিলাম যে তখন তো আমাদের আরো মানে লোভটা আসলে জাগ্রত হয় না, এই কারণে বলতেছিলাম মানে কিভাবে কৃষ্ণ কথার প্রতি লোভ জাগ্রত হবে আর কি।
By always hearing and hearing and hearing. Gradually, uh, gradually we lose interest of hearing material talk and gradually develop uh, interest for spiritual subject matter. When we understand the importance, naturally, uh, everybody likes the best one. When we understand how beneficial the Krishna consciousness process is, then naturally they will develop. So simply by hearing, and that hearing should be from pure devotees, like Srila Prabhupada and previous acharyas. If we don't find that type of pure devotees, then at least we should hear Prabhupada's lecture, to read Prabhupada's book, discuss with other devotees. By hearing and hearing, we'll develop. Like the scripture mentioned, that it is like pouring water to a tree. By pouring water to a tree, it nourishes. The same way, by hearing Krishna Katha, our spiritual kripa will be nourishes. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada. Grantarachana Prabhupada. Shall we go?
Hare Krishna Maharaji.